General George.
Coming to you live on the Government Access Channel from Mario Bagnoni Chambers in beautiful downtown Erie. It's the Taxpayers Hotline Show with your hosts, Kaz Kwiatkowski and John Steiner.
How did he know you were here?
You know, I don't know how it is. I think he's got ESP. Mike's got ESP.
Gotta be. There's no way DJ knows you're here.
You know, I mentally telepathized it to him, so it just came over the loudspeaker like that. That's deep.
You might have been the guy that landed in Kecksburg years ago.
That might have been.
You know what Kecksburg was?
What'd they catch you? I don't know.
Oh, you gotta look it up.
I'll have to Google it.
You want to go over the rules before we take our first caller?
Yeah, just be positive. You know, no personal attacks, and we're going to try to keep it to a 5 or 10 minute limit, unless Kaz and I start gabbing and nobody starts calling.
Then you just tell us to shut up.
And say, shut your pie hole. I want to talk.
There you go.
We have a caller on hold. Go ahead, caller. You there?
Yeah.
What can we do for you?
I'm calling about the city trash service. Someone told me that the city's thinking about contracting that out.
Well, the mayor made a comment that we're doing an intervention report. The last intervention report said that there was a recommendation that we look into privatizing the garbage. I think most people are expecting that this one will probably say the same thing. And the mayor said I think he was quoted as saying he's going to do whatever the report says, even though there was no direct comment made because the report hasn't been written yet, the new one. But I'm sure that if that comes up, the administration will have a recommendation. It'll be up to council to decide whether they want to follow through with that.
What are your thoughts on that, caller?
Because a friend of mine who is on city council indicated to me and disclosed to me that it's coming up for a vote to get rid of the city doing trash service, to have a private company do it, because the cost would be very good for the city if a private company does it.
Well, first of all, the garbage department returns money to us every year.
Yeah. I'm surprised because...
Yeah, because they must know more than I do, because right now the study hasn't even been written yet.
Yeah.
And until the report is released, my feeling is we're not voting. It would take 2 readings.
Yeah. From what I know, most of the guys that actually throw the trash onto the truck.
Yeah, they're not union anyway.
Yeah, they're part-time guys.
Yeah, they get no insurance.
And they get no benefits. They're part-time, and they, they're young guys that are, trying to get a leg in and foot in, and then that gives the city an opportunity to see if they're, what their work ethic's like, if they show up on time, if they work, and maybe as time goes on, they move into a different department as city employees that actually work.
Yeah, it's actually one of the few places that they can move because of the union contracts.
Yeah.
We can't just replace a union person.
Yeah.
After the bidding process, if there's a spot open.
Yeah.
That's one of the first spots they go to, especially if you have a enhanced driver's license, a CDL.
In my opinion, Kaz, there's certain things that shouldn't be outsourced, because when you're at the whim of private business, you never know what you can get.
Well, no, once you sell it too, you got to remember that you sell all your trucks, all your equipment, and after the contract's done, if they deem that it wasn't a good first contract, because they always lowball the first one,
right?
Then you're at their mercy for every other one.
Right, and then you get, like in the school district, they're talking about outsourcing janitorial services and different things like that. Those guys do a lot more than just clean the building.
Well, I think in Mill Creek, they actually outsourced the janitors one time.
Yeah.
They actually came back and in-housed it again.
I mean, because you can call those guys and say, hey, I want this, I want that, but if you outsource something, then you're at the whim of,
and we have it here.
A public business, and, people not making money, not making good money. So that's where you run into all kinds of problems.
And we have it actually here with the janitors.
What are your thoughts on that, caller? Are you pro outsourcing or anti?
No, the city council person indicated to me that it's coming up for vote, and the city council is going to vote to contract it out.
Yeah, I'd like to know when that vote is, because they must know something I don't know.
I mean, we'd have to see
because
the numbers.
we I asked the mayor,
He would, I wouldn't.
I asked the mayor last week, and he had no plans yet to do it. Everybody's waiting for the report to come on. That report won't be out, right away.
wow.
It'll be a few months yet.
I'd say a year at least.
But there's no vote that I know of that's coming up.
So, no, but, I was told this, the other day.
Well, you know what? I don't know your source, but I haven't been told it.
I mean, it's possible. I mean,
Yeah.
the topics come up from what I've heard, but I don't think any decisions or.
No, I think what everybody's hearing is the mayor said he'd do whatever's in that intervention report.
Yeah.
And previous reports have said we should look at outsourcing.
Whenever you get somebody that comes in and does a study, that's one of the number ones that
Yeah.
because that's what other cities have done. Mill Creek does
And there
it.
was an article in the paper, but this councilman knows nothing about it, and I'm telling you,
What about contracting out, the police services?
oh, you can't do that.
Because some cities have done that, and it's been fantastic for community relations and for, money issues as well.
Give me an example where they did it.
California, there's some cities in California, California's done it.
Large cities of 100,000 or little communities?
All kinds of cities in California, they have done that.
Well, send me a couple, because when I was on the school board, I remember they said they could do a whole district, but it was always, they would do a small district, but never a large inner city district. If you were to contract out policemen, that's a giant step,
I mean, they do a good job.
Well, I've never even heard of anybody outsourcing police,
Yeah.
but, that's not to say they don't.
Right. I like that. I would, one thing I always liked is our ordinance officers. They're not like, what are the guys that go out and, Andy's, I remember, what are those?
Code enforcement.
Yeah, they're not code enforcement, but there's.
Oh, the rental program.
Yeah, and there's other ordinances that people aren't following where we could bring revenue in, but that's a whole other topic.
Police services, if it came up for vote or came up to do, would the city be willing to do that?
What, Farmouth Police?
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to see the numbers, number one, and, that's too premature to say I would vote yes or no. My first response would be, when you deal with rental services, you lose control, and discipline them becomes very hard.
If you have some type
Because
of,
if they do something, all of a sudden, you gotta deal with their boss to fire them.
yeah, I mean, who would police the police? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, as far as this, the mayor and, the elected officials and city council pretty much police the police at this point. If you outsource them, I mean, I dare to think what would happen if something
I'd like to see,
happened on the streets where they were liable for something.
I'd like to see what cities they did this in, because
Yeah.
you don't see it in Chicago, you don't see it in Baltimore, you don't see
Right.
it in New York, you don't see it in Allentown, you don't see it in Roanoke, you don't see it in Peoria.
Maybe next week, look up some more information on it and let us know next
Yeah,
week.
give me some names in California, some cities, and
Yeah.
I'd like to check into it, really. Can you do that?
Yes, I can do that. See, but if the opportunity would come, would the city be willing to do that?
Well, you can't, well, trying to predict the future, who's gonna be on council?
Yeah.
Who's gonna be the mayor, if it comes up, that's a hard question. Anybody could consider it, but, until you know the figures in front of you, I couldn't even tell you if they would consider it.
I mean, there's a long way from a would they do that kind of situation.
Okay, I would think the math was nice to save the city money and protect the city efficiently. Would you guys be willing to do that? To vote for that?
I'm not in council, but.
Yeah, he's not in council. Me, I'd have to see, I'd have to hear more about the program, about accountability, about, I tell you this, we were promised a lot of things here with the cleaning service, and it didn't happen. Now, don't disagree with me upstairs, but when I was controller, I saw the numbers. Yes, we save money. Some people would say the quality of the building is not the same. The accountability issue is altogether different. There's a lot of questions, and if you're telling me that, it's one thing to have a cleaning service and garbage, but when you start talking about policemen,
Yeah,
and public trust,
and lives.
you're gonna have to really convince me that that it's a good idea.
So I'll probably say no. But hey, thanks, caller. We gotta move on to the next call.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a, you know, when you start talking about,
Yeah, I mean, that's all we need is for somebody,
hey, you're not talking about a guy who's picking up your garbage now. Now you're
No.
talking about a guy that's,
you're talking about people walking around with guns. You know?
and they're gonna come in your house.
Yeah. Go ahead, caller. Turn your TV down, please. Go ahead, caller. Turn your TV down, please.
You sound good.
Hey, there's us.
How's that?
There you go.
You should know better.
John, come on.
Come on.
This ain't
Find
your,
a button and I switch
this
phones.
ain't your first rodeo?
Yeah, you're not a newbie.
What the heck?
Hey, that last guy talking, he tried to put you on the spot last week again, too. I think he's all gobbledygook.
Yeah, you know, before I start letting, you know, you're talking about letting somebody that you don't even know, that's been vetted by probably a private company.
Yeah.
You know, we know our police officers. You know, they're accountable to us.
He was talking about California. They have chips. They have all its various departments all over. Erie the police department does a great job, and we don't want to rent it out.
Well, name me one big city, John, that you've seen that does it. You know,
I haven't seen one, and I watch them all.
it might work in a small community where
Yeah.
you know,
I tell you what, you're right about one thing, John. Our police department is pretty good.
and they're on a good roll right now.
I mean, you know, where that kid got hit by
How about that, huh?
on Buffalo Road.
Yeah, that was a crime.
Yeah.
I think there's more involved in that than people know.
But you know what? I told the chief, and I said, I think it's, you know, council feels the same way that, you know, lately they've been doing some great work.
Yeah.
The last few years, they've been closing a lot of cases.
A lot of
quick.
cases.
Their
been
plate is
closed.
so full with the manpower they have.
Yeah, and you know what? They've done a good job, and I see no reason. Look, we can argue how much they make, but you know, the bottom line is you pay for the quality you get.
You know, from what I know they're reaching out into the community more to try to do some different things. I know Officer Putney and Officer Tom Lennox, they're out there trying to add some diversity to the force, which is needed.
Yeah.
You know, they got the police athletic league going on. They got a bunch of different initiatives going on where they're trying to reintroduce the community policing aspect of it.
And they're trying to get people to cooperate with them, because you know what?
I
They're
remember
not,
that police athletic league when it was down at Dan and the old down on 3rd and 4th Street years ago when Sam Gemelli ran it.
you know, I still have my card.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. It was signed by, I think it was Chief. It was either Chief Williams or Chief. I don't know who signed mine, either Gemelli or Williams. Remember Chief Williams?
Yeah, how about Shimeni?
Yeah, they could have. But I remember my dad. All the cops, their sons all got a card. You know, we were expected to go down there. You know, and it was an idea that the police would interact with the community. Their sons and all that would go down there.
I lived down there.
It was a great time, wasn't it, John?
Oh yeah, that was the old St. Mark's Seminary, the gym on the backside,
Yep.
and that was
I have
fantastic.
to dig out my card someday and bring it to show it to you.
I know they're still really active. I was just at their the police athletic dinner about 4 or 5 months ago, so they are pretty active, and they still open their arms to the community. I mean, that's
Got my Boys Club card.
Wow.
Are you
Seven.
the little plastic one where they used to burn your
It
name?
was the fiber one. It was gray.
Yeah.
And Ruth was the last one. She gave me the card. Ruth Strand.
Wow. Hold on to that one, John.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
took it down to Messina.
Oh, Al Messina?
Yeah, it's in their archives along with the DeLucas and let's see, all of the DeLucas were wrestlers. Benny Strand, George Strand, the whole bunch. We
Yeah.
lived down there.
I got a picture of John playing football with the ball that was more round. And
Yeah, right. With
Pointed?
leather helmets. Were you there when Harry Romansky was there, John?
Harry Romansky at the Boys Club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Harry Romansky.
I remember we used to walk across that little walkway across there. Do you remember that?
The teen center was when I was there. It was called.
geez, you guys really go back.
Yeah, I mean, this is 8th Street right over here.
Yeah, it was something. We used to go to the Moose Club and stick pins.
They used to have that giant basketball tournament. We entered one year.
Yeah, well, you had the big gym and the little gym, and
Yeah.
I remember Benny Strand. We went in there, and he asked me if I knew how to swim, and I said no.
They threw you in?
Yep, threw threw me right in the deep end, but I was lying. I didn't know how to swim.
I remember
Anybody born on the Bayside didn't know how to swim, you're in trouble.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You had to learn trial by fire down there. You remember a guy named Chick Chilelli was his name? He was a gymnast.
He was with the DeLuca gang on 4th Street.
Yeah, he was, believe it or not, he used to take gymnastics at one time. Taz.
Chicky, little Chicky.
Chicky, he was one hell of a gymnast, I tell you what.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a good coach too. What else is new, John? What's going on?
Well, I have a question. How many trucks do we have that does street patching? Do we only have one? One big truck that goes all over?
Yeah, I think it's one or two, John. I'd have to.
I saw one.
We don't have a lot of them, but I think, you know, you're talking about the nice one, the pre-patch one, right?
Yeah, that big one.
I know we have, well, I have to check on it for you. If I see Chuck Zisk, I'll ask him.
Well, the reason why I'm asking, I was watching one, and it came down on the east side here, and it went all the way over to Green Garden, then went up to Green Garden, and there was all kinds of potholes, but I imagine they have a work order list they follow, and unless it's really a road cave-in, I don't think they stop.
Yeah, there's a list, you know.
And I know that there's complaints where they have to get them, and they try and get them within 24 hours, and the conditions of the roads up here are horrendous.
Well, yeah, you ain't kidding. I you know, for a mild winter, we did get hit pretty good, though.
Well, I'll tell you, there's one I think the city will be liable for because it's not a pothole, it's a manhole.
Did somebody turn it in, or?
No, they sprayed it with marking paint.
Well, that means probably someone in the city was there, right?
I don't know who put the paint on it, but as long as that paint is on there, anybody gets busted wheels or busted front suspension, I think the city would be liable for that.
Where is it, John?
It's on 38th and I think it's about 38th and East Avenue, around that area.
Right on 38th?
Yeah.
38th East Avenue. I'll have to
Park.
take a look. That's right by my house.
Yeah, it's up in there. In fact, a couple of times I almost wrapped into it. It might be Ron Burton in that area.
Yeah, I'll take a look. But it's on 38th, not one of the side streets.
No, it's on 38th
Okay.
Street. But other than that, it's...
Geez, I just rolled over there today. I must have missed it.
Well, it's depending which way you're going. I think it's on the south side.
Well, I had both ways. I went to the breakfast place today,
Did you?
so I should have passed it.
Who'd you go with, the fellas?
You're probably on the wrong side. Unless you're looking for it, it didn't jump out on you.
Well, I tell you, there's a lot of potholes, surprisingly, around the city, though.
Well, this isn't a pothole. It's a drain.
A crater?
It's a drain.
Oh.
That's why I say if somebody hits it,
I'm thinking either water or sewer probably went by there and marked it.
it's. I think it's. It's hard to say. It might be sewer, but
Right.
why would that be in the middle of the road?
It shouldn't be. It's a manhole, you're saying?
Yeah,
Or a drain?
it's a grate.
In the middle of the street?
Yep.
It might have been from the old days before they widened the street, like.
I don't think so. I don't think it was there. I know I saw them up there working with their.
If it's a grate, I think it's sewer, but I'll try to call and find out.
So, but other than that, what about this roar on the shore? How much money are we really out? And that's really taking a lot of heat on Facebook, on talk radio. And
Well, I'll tell you what, it depends on who you talk to. There's an equal number of merchants that didn't like it,
Yeah.
okay, that didn't benefit from it. There's an equal number of people that didn't benefit from it.
well, the merchants downtown didn't benefit.
No, some of them did. Now, if you,
Bars probably benefited.
some of them, not all of them, but, if you sold beer and that was your business, you probably made out. If you were a high-priced restaurant, you might not. Some of the restaurants said they got no kickback because of the food trucks that Ralph brought in.
True.
And remember, those were out-of-town food vendors.
I don't get all, how did we even agree to that first?
Well, it's not about agreeing. If you give somebody permission, okay?
So, were they paying the city to do this?
They did the first couple of years.
And then they quit paying the
Well,
city?
whoever you talked to said, either we didn't push it, okay?
Yeah,
And, you know, when Shepard came in, he decided to look at it. He came up with some numbers. Now, their side saying they're high, whether they're high or low,
Yeah.
they're probably close to, I would say about 100,000, okay?
You know, I remember-
At least, okay? That'd be a conservative guess.
Yeah.
But if people think that the state police are gonna do it for free
Oh, boy.
out in Greenfield Township and put up with that kind of crap, you know?
well, I'll tell you what.
I mean, security wise, you know, you're not talking with a community that has a police force like Erie did.
Yeah, you're talking about Green Township.
Greenfield, I think it is.
Greentown, I don't
Is it Greenfield?
I
or-
don't know.
It's green.
Okay, but you know, they don't have, the state police now have inherited that. And if they have traffic control, I understand they're gonna have to have volunteer fire
Let me tell you
Fire
this.
police.
Let me tell you this too about the people that own the Speedway. They're greedy, money hungry, and they're having a 5K, I think a charity 5K, terrain run that starts out there.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, a friend of mine that I work with is involved in it. You have to pay $20 to park in that parking lot just to run in that terrain race.
Well, Ralph said they claim nobody's gonna pay there.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, here's the thing, John, you know, when you think about this,
Maybe the first year they won't.
yeah, you know, they tried to negotiate with him. He sure came up with a backup plan pretty quick,
Yeah,
which, you know, makes me wonder,
he's
but.
had a plan B for a while.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people, you know, weren't comfortable with it, some were. I'd like to know the people that complained, it'd be interesting if they put their addresses down. Cause it's always interesting how people out in the townships and county love to have us push everything at our expense
Yeah.
while they sit out there and benefit.
Do you remember?
You know what I'm saying, John?
Sure, that's always been that way.
I mean, you know, if it's city people complaining, then I'll listen to them, you know.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the businessman, the association, weren't they supposed to pay $25,000 for fireworks, or were they supposed to give the city money for fireworks or something
I
like that?
think they did the 1 year, but I'm
One
not
year,
sure.
but it was supposed to be an annual thing. They did it one time, and then, because I remember people asking them, where's this, where's that? Because they said they were
Yeah.
going to do that, and they never did it. I think they did it one time, and then after that, they quit doing it. So I kind of see where the city's
And
coming from.
then there's you know, we were told that, and if Mr. Pontillo wants to tell me I'm a liar or correct me, I'll listen to
Now
him.
listen, does it bring,
But I heard that once he retired, now he and his staff are getting a cut out of the,
oh, great,
You
I'm
know.
sure.
Well, you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to have somebody audit their books to see if they've really made these donations or it's just up front.
well, there's a form they gotta file with the Commonwealth.
On the 990.
And, Ms. Ellen, my councilwoman, cohort, she tried to find the latest one, she couldn't. I don't know when it's due, but,
Well, yeah, that's what
You can get-
register is my mind, because you know you got a lot of dollars coming in. It's just like if you were a little kid, and your mother had a bank full of dimes.
yeah, I think you called it a 990, I'll
It's a
have to find out.
990.
Yeah, the 990 was out there, and, there's previous years, you can look them up. What were you gonna ask, John?
Well, you know, just like I said with the bank deal, when it's full of dimes,
Yeah,
taking them out pretty soon, the bank is empty, and Mom knows what you're doing.
yep,
So we'll get off, let somebody else get in.
Thanks, John.
what were you gonna say?
That's a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
I mean, it brings millions to the economy. It puts kind of Erie on the map for certain things. Some businesses benefit, some don't. It's a double-edged sword either way.
well, think of this, some of the businesses, when you add up all the things we do downtown,
Yeah,
they were closed for about a month.
exactly, especially the ones right here. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, I agree with John on this one. Hats off to the mayor. You know, I live up in the southeast area by Kaz. What do I benefit by these motorcycles? I don't get nothing. My taxes, I have to pay through my tax money for these motorcycles coming to our town. And I'll tell you another thing. None of those bars and restaurants down State Street. How about those two ivory towers down at the end of the dock?
Yeah,
Sold out those hotels.
well, we are suing them, well, we're challenging their tax exempt status now.
Well, why don't they kick in about $5,000 towards this we're on our short bill.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but good luck, right?
Them kick in, and let puffer bellies, not puffer bellies, but Plymouth and those places that get all the money, because them all kicking $1,000 a piece.
Did you listen to the story about the woman that had the ice cream shop? You know, she was in the secure area where the stage is. She basically had to shut down her shop for, you know, every time we put a stage up.
Yeah.
You know, how many people can take a month off?
Yeah.
You know, that means, you know, she can't pay the employees. You know, she's got 1 month less revenue. I agree with you, and I'm glad you called because you're a citizen, and I don't care what people think out in Mill Creek.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I look at, we don't charge a business tax. What did the city actually make out? We had to pay for police protection, a few bars made out.
Well,
But at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, well, how does it help you, you know?
You get the ancillary effects like stores, gas stations, beer distributors, taverns. There is some residual effect
But the hotels are all
to
on
the
the county.
overall economy for the county.
Yeah.
And the county doesn't really do anything. Now the hotels down there and what they've got going on down, that's a whole nother story, you know. But you're right about they should be kicking in because
I want to tell you, sir, that the mayor, just so, you know, I don't always defend the mayor, but are you listening?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, he actually came to council 2 months ago. We meet with him and he made us aware of what he was thinking. And he asked us how we felt about it. And I think a majority of us, we can't vote, but,
communication actually.
well, I think he took I'm not saying it me, but, you know, I've been nailing him about not doing it, but, you know, he talked to us about it. And he kept us aware. He wanted to sound it out if we had any problems. We can't vote formally.
Yeah.
But I think he came away with the understanding that,
He had your support.
that
if
we,
he
you know,
decided
we
not to.
support his endeavor that, you know, in a city like last year, $11 million in a hole,
Yeah.
we can't give away, you know.
No. And then they offered to give him 50%.
Yeah.
I think.
You know, another thing I'm still mad about is we got stuck for 35 grand when Trump come to town.
Yep, and that, you know what, you know, if that was, I will say this, if that was him coming to Erie for disaster relief or, you know, presidential thing, that's one thing. But that was a pure campaign stop. And I don't care whether it was a Democrat or Republican, when they come here to, you know, push candidates, we should not foot the bill.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to come here and he's gonna give us aid, or, you know, we just, you know, he's come here and make a official statement, a press conference or something, you know, that's one thing, but not a campaign rally.
You know what's going to happen though? Those motorcycles, they're going to come downtown anyway. They're going to stroll into the city.
Yeah, they probably will, but
They'll go to the bars and everything. We don't have to pay nothing for it though. But out there in Northeast where you're going, can you imagine? You talked about it. I mean, can you imagine the state cops are going to have their hands full? Plus the township of Northeast, but they're going to go down into Northeast town.
They'll scream. You think
They're going to have a problem too with this.
their residents are gonna scream out
they
there.
like it now, but they,
Oh, just wait till those motorcycles go roaring by their house at
Hey,
2 a.m. in the morning.
all day long, all night long. They go.
well, we hear it on Pine Avenue at night. You're pretty close to it, right?
That's right here. I'm right off of Wayne Street on 42nd.
Yeah, I hear
Oh,
them,
yeah.
you know, pumping
And-
up
and-
Pine
and
Avenue all
They
night.
rattle your windows.
Yeah.
And wait till they start roaring through Northeast. They're gonna lose their mind out there.
I had to say, I just want to put my 2 cents in on this.
Well, I'm glad you
Yeah,
did
no,
because, you
thanks
know.
for calling. We need some more callers. to
Yeah,
call
we,
with
you
thoughts
know,
on
I want
that.
to hear from Erie people. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I know how the other people feel, you know,
Yeah.
we're not good enough to live in, but they want to, you know, celebrate here all the time.
Well, thanks for calling. You know, Kaz.
That was a good- go ahead.
That was a good call. I posted on social media. Maybe we should consider, because they just did away with it out there, moving the gears and what was it? What they had out
Yeah,
there?
they had that
Gears and grub.
Gears and grub.
Where, you know, it was a 1 or 2 day thing.
They can't do it out there no more.
They can't do it. And move that to the city, and
Yeah.
we support put the stage up.
Yeah.
Support our own vendors.
Food vendors from Erie.
Absolutely. And sell T-shirts and everything. Go ahead, caller.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. I'm calling to ask you guys, what is the city doing on helping out transgender people?
Sir, did you just call a little bit ago? I mean, we have to have different callers. Your number looks familiar.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
the name?
Yeah, we're gonna have
Okay.
to have, yeah,
I'll give you a comment, but we're gonna put you
Yeah.
up right now.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we have no policy pro or con,
yeah.
you know,
To each his own.
yeah. We haven't had that issue evolve yet. There's nothing, I checked, there's nothing that says, we can't do it, or
Yeah.
we can do it, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, here's what matter of fact, I noticed this on my way in.
Yeah,
Right out here on the sidewalk, it shows that we accept diversity in
Yeah.
this city. I mean, the sidewalk still, has the, rainbow. I mean, for any city to have, I mean, I don't know about that stuff, but for us to have that shows that this city is starting to accept people for what they are.
now the city, from what I was told, the city has no policy, but the state may not protect them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that may be an issue.
Yeah.
They may not have any protection under state law,
Oh, really?
so that's not something,
Yeah.
we could say one thing, but,
Well, any laws that have to do with that kind of thing is more state and
yeah,
federal.
and so, I mean, if you're looking at, the city can say one thing, but let's say somebody challenges them,
Yeah.
there's not much you can do if the state and feds don't back you up.
Right.
Because we get trumped by, Commonwealth law and by federal law.
Federal. Yeah. Well, anyways, if we have the gears and the grub thing
Yeah,
for a day or two,
yeah, I mean,
and we'll get the people that, I bet you the people that go to the Roar would come here.
what we gotta do too is, what I think we, kinda like a mini Celebrate Erie,
Yeah.
where we tell the brick and mortar people,
Yeah.
come on out with your tables, you can sell too.
Absolutely. Get the people from,
Yeah.
all these restaurants to
If they
open
want
up
to,
here.
give them the first,
Yeah.
give them a crack too.
You have the food truck lines right up here, boom, boom.
Like that one woman said, you shut her ice cream business off.
Yeah.
Cause she was in the secure area of the stage.
Right,
So you can't get any cars in there.
right.
People are having trouble getting back there because of security issues.
You know what would be awesome if
So I
they,
mean, if you allow her to go in the park
Yeah.
and Roar on the Shore
yeah,
wouldn't,
yeah. You could, you have the flower shop, they could sell their stuff.
yeah.
You have, even the beer store up the street, because they could sell beer down here, and the regular food trucks that come around. You know what, I liked it back I see I'm old school, I liked it back in the day when we had the stage on the dock.
Yeah.
Remember when the boats were all out there, and it was beautiful outside,
Yep.
and the music, and the water, and the atmosphere was,
They even had the festival down there for a while.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like down here too.
Yeah.
It's cool with
The only time it
RGC
was bad
set.
was when they put on that gravel that year.
Oh, I remember that. They did what?
Well, they put it where when they tore down the grain elevators,
Oh,
and they had like piles of gravel,
oh, really?
you could not get a wheel.
Oh, really?
I was pushing
Yeah,
my daughter in the
yeah.
stroller, it wasn't working.
I wish they would put, even if they didn't have you know how we put the main acts on 10th Street?
Yeah.
Or other acts, the main act down here, just put it down on the dock. I know walking up and down the hills is a problem for some.
Well, we'd have to have shuttles.
Yeah, just shuttles back and forth, boom, and just do the gears and grub, a Saturday and a Sunday, or a Friday and a Saturday, well, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
And, condense it in half, raise local money, and do it that way. I mean, then we wouldn't need half the money to run it. The city would still bring the bikers in.
But your idea is nice. If we do it uptown, we allow all the merchants to participate.
Yeah, or move it around, the Bayfront Amphitheater. Well, that'd be a beautiful place down there.
With the food trucks.
The food trucks, the music, the stage is already there. It doesn't have to be right here. It's the Roar on the Shore. This isn't really the shore.
And
The
you know-
shore's over there.
And you know why they got the grub and gears?
Yeah.
They got mad because they were locked out.
Yeah, and the local vendors got locked out. I would rather go to that, or I came to I'm not a biker guy.
Yeah.
I mean, but I am,
Hey, look,
I'm pro Roar on the Shore.
I didn't want it kicked out.
No.
But when they if you're not gonna meet our expenses.
There's alternatives to where the city itself can benefit, and our own people, like RJ Messenger and those guys, they sell those t-shirts. I mean, they're nice.
Well, all we ever got was,
We have the
we got $100 out of them
Yeah.
for the vendors, and they promised to pay a little bit and they did in the past, and then that stopped,
Oh, did it? Well, see, I mean, there has to be some type of an increase in there, depending on how much and, what the percentages are. I think that they'd be willing to put in. I think Hammett would be willing to put in. You get
Yeah.
these people, these nonprofits.
But you know, you gotta take care of the local, I mean, the people that got a brick and mortar store,
Yeah,
they're sitting down there 52 weeks of the year.
yeah,
And then you tell the vendors,
Yeah.
the food vendors that are paying,
yeah,
you know, you gotta move out.
yeah. I mean, but if you look right here, along this, right here, I mean, you got the situation going on over there.
Yeah.
But there's really no restaurants directly located, other than those over there,
Yeah.
on the park. So, you get these other places to come in, you bring the food trucks in. I would willing to bet money that you would get a fantastic, you throw a band, local bands. You don't need to throw up you don't need the headliners. You put the Groove up on there, they sell out everywhere. The Geek Army or these other local bands, they pack places up. If you did it a local flavor, you cut the expenses, you offered you offered basically what you did before, but with a local flavor, or even better yet, do it down at the Bayfront Amphitheater where it is actually on the shore. Just my opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
what do I know?
Well, it's shared by many.
I mean, sure. I mean, why? Hey, if they want to have it there, more power to you. People are ticked because they think we're going to lose the revenue, blah, blah, blah. But really, as far as the city goes, what hotels are in the city?
Well, I always laugh when they say, you hear this out of town too. Build a stadium and it brings you money.
Yeah,
Sometimes they've proven that not to be the case.
no.
Because, I mean, the people are inside, I mean, in some of these events, okay, you have a captive audience where Warren Shore made money, their vendors made money.
Yeah,
How much of it bled out into the other bars,
Right.
Hey, but how about the people that weren't there to sell, cheap food and beer,
yeah,
that were, like you take, and I won't pick on names, but in the old days, you had Bertrand's, Trouble One,
yeah,
some of these are not what you call, your nickel dime places, your McDonald's or something. So, I mean, how much business were they getting or not getting?
nothing.
If they're not selling cheap beer,
Yeah,
at some of the restaurants, they sell beer and drink as a supplement to a nice meal.
I mean,
So you pay a little more, you know that,
these businesses downtown, they pay a fee I think they have to pay to be part of the downtown partnership.
Yeah.
So, or they did.
Yeah, that was when they first did that, it was 50% of the eligible, meaning
here's what they need
had
to do.
to vote on it.
Here's what, if I was mayor, here's what I would do. I'd get the EDDC on the phone, I'd get the downtown partnership on the phone, and I'd say, get over here. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna move the Gears and Grub to the city. We're gonna cut it down. We're gonna have our own local people, and we're gonna support our own local business. And I guarantee, our own local music, it would make money. I actually would probably, it would cost at least half, because if it's only if you had a Friday night and Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon and Saturday night, you don't need it in the morning. I don't know.
I got an idea I'm gonna roll out for you.
Let them do the rides. You know how they ride
Yeah.
around the beach and, they ride around. Let them ride around. Who cares? As long as the local people, and it would be part of the same weekend, so we get some of that, dude. I don't know. I mean,
I got an idea I'm gonna roll out.
you roll out the motorcycle? What are you
No,
gonna do?
just in general.
Roll out the
about-
Harley?
I had a vision one night. I was sitting there, honest to God, and I said, man, it makes sense, I'm thinking, we're looking at how to expand business,
Yeah.
Watching those restaurants leave, and
Yeah.
now we're finding out there may be some new ones,
Yeah.
but I thought of something that might make sense, might bring some
What was that?
sensibility. Well, I don't wanna release it till it's,
Oh,
I wanna release it on my terms,
Okay.
Not that I care about who gets credit,
Yeah.
but I don't want somebody else
Well,
jumping
yeah,
on
you
it
will. That
and
happens.
taking it in a different
Believe me,
direction.
that does happen.
I'll tell you about it privately.
Yeah.
But I thought about it, it would make sense, it would talk about the gap that exists between the food vendors,
Yeah.
the mobile ones and the fixed ones,
Yeah.
and what we're looking at in the future, that if we try this, maybe it works,
There's enough, you know, with the brick and mortar, those are the ones that are paying, I mean, the vendors here, they were upset because they had to pay, what, $200 for a
$100 more.
How much?
Oh, I think it went up to 100, I think is what.
They're up to 100 and they were complaining?
I think that's what it went up to. I mean, I thought that's what I voted on, yes.
That's like.
It doubled, but it hadn't
From
been.
50 to 100,
Yeah.
and they're in here upset about that?
But,
Wow, if business is that bad, they.
but when you talk to brick and mortar people, they go,
Yeah,
I gotta pay, look, we don't have this one came up and there was a candidate for city council. And you know, they said never let the truth get in the way of a good argument.
yeah, right.
Well, there was a comment made that on Pittsburgh. Can you hold on 1 second?
Yes.
It was a comment made that in Pittsburgh, they don't charge as much as we do for the food vendors. And I said, I thought about it. So I did a little research. Philly is a first-class city and Pittsburgh is a second class. We are third class.
Right.
We are not permitted to charge certain kinds of taxes.
Okay.
Pittsburgh, they don't tell you this, besides charging a vendor's fee, they also charge a business tax.
Uh-huh.
We don't have a business tax,
Right,
okay?
right,
So I mean, you can't compare apples to oranges
right.
and, come out with a good argument, but,
Right.
never let the truth get in.
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Paul.
sir.
Go ahead.
Oh, thanks. You think about this. All these events they have downtown are supposed to bring all this money into the economy.
Right, that's what they tell you.
Yeah. So you tell me what benefit I get out of it as a taxpayer.
And that's the question. I mean, like, when they say, I'll tell you this, sir. Give me 1 minute and you can rebuttal me all you want. Does it bring you money into the economy? Yeah, the hotels do great up on I-90, but none of them benefit the city directly. I keep hearing it's a regional thing. Well, that's fine. But when the city has to pay the vast majority and we get no gambling money, like John said, we get no, the hotels don't give us a kickback, a voluntary contribution for giving them some added business. And, the wealth is spread all around a little bit. How much, you're right, how much does you, the taxpayer, what's it cost you at the end of the day? But go ahead, you feel free.
Oh, I lost my train of thought here.
Well,
Well,
but
you were saying
yeah.
that, what does the tax?
How's it benefit you?
Yeah,
Right, absolutely.
And I'm telling you, I don't know how it does, unless all those hotels are out in the county pretty much.
it's not, I mean, actually, it works against you.
Yeah,
Because you got a $147,000 bill sitting upstairs.
I mean, we still get the same amount of taxes from the business. We get
Right.
maybe an extra $100 for the vending fee,
Yeah,
but when he asks that question,
right. Well,
he probably doesn't benefit.
it pumps money into the economy in general, but it also pulls money out of the direct budget. So it's,
But then you gotta wonder where the employees work that benefit.
they work in the service industry.
Yeah, do they work in the city? Do they,
They're the bar owners in the service industry. Those are the ones that,
I think this guy brings up a good
Benefit.
point, cause if you look at the city, I don't see any new businesses coming in that
no,
much.
there's no Harley Davidson shop moving in downtown.
The only one that's making any money are the hotels and the beer joints.
Yeah,
pretty
and
much.
most of the hotels, except for a couple downtown, a lot of them were out in I-90.
I know this has nothing to do with the city.
No, I mean, fine for those hotels out there and for the townships they reside in.
The county tax, they get the hotel tax.
They get the hotel, we can't even charge a hotel tax, sir.
Yeah, so, and we don't have any hotels really in the city.
We'll have 3 now, but,
Well, down there, yeah.
well, we got the downtown, which is still being renovated.
Oh, the cobblestone?
The Cobblestone and the 2 down there, and then Nick will be 5.
Yeah, but that's all, I mean,
That's
isn't-
it.
Isn't that on, the part, or, that's not, we can't tax that, isn't it?
Which one?
Nix?
Yeah, we can charge Nick's.
Okay, Nix, yeah, but we can't charge the other,
The other 2 are being challenged.
which we
But
should.
this has nothing to do with the city, but damn, I'm 87 years old and I'm still paying school taxes.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Commonwealth. They talked about switching that to an income-based tax
Yeah,
and a real estate, a combination, which would probably help you,
yeah.
but good luck in seeing it passed.
Tell me about it. Yep. Okay, I'll let somebody else call.
But you have a good point, sir. Thanks for calling.
Yep, bye.
Yeah, in some states, they actually give, it's not strictly based on
Right.
real estate.
They've increased property tax. And we were all supposed to get property tax relief from the casino.
Well, we did,
What
but
a
how much?
joke.
Yeah.
And then we spent gas tax money paying the state troopers pension fund. I mean, really, people?
Well, really, these townships should chip in. I mean, they're
Yeah,
getting,
bring it here.
I mean, we all pay state,
Absolutely. The money should come from the county.
I mean, we all pay state trooper, fees.
Yeah.
We sponsor.
Of our state
But,
taxes.
but if you look at Mill Creek, Lawrence Park, Northeast Township,
Yeah.
Northeast Borough, all the places have their own police forces, the
Yeah.
city of Erie. I mean,
Well, didn't the state
What-
police try to put a $25 tax on
well, the
people?
legislature did.
And people lost their minds.
Well, it comes down to this, John, there's more rural legislators,
Oh, for sure, yeah, we
and
know.
they're not gonna go along.
That's
with
why the nonprofits aren't going
it. I think it
anywhere.
was up to $50 a person.
Was it?
I think about it, you pay $1 a year for, state police protection.
50 a year?
Well, $50 a year would be like $1 a week,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're not gonna do that?
No, they don't want to. They don't want to pay fire. They don't want to pay police.
Well, volunteer fire departments in some areas, we can understand that.
Yeah.
But when you get to be almost a city, like Harbor Creek Township, Mill Creek, Summit's starting to get like a city.
Yeah.
With the amount of businesses, the volunteers get kind of stretched.
Yeah, a lot of my friends are volunteers in the county, and whenever you see the news and you see whenever you see the volunteer guys, it's always charred ruins, and the volunteer fire department showed up to this house on so-and-so, and then they show the house and it's like a charred ruin.
Well, these guys have jobs.
Yeah, I mean, but people, hey, they don't want to pay the taxes.
You don't know where you work. I mean, the old system was designed for rural communities where, they could roll out and help their neighbors. But now we're getting into where you got, I think nobody would argue that Mill Creek, Harbor Creek,
Mill
Summit.
Creek, it's just a matter of time before Mill Creek.
What are they? They're urban sectors with huge,
Well, Mill Creek has what, about 60 grand, 60,000?
well, they say a little less than 60.
And growing.
Yeah. But I mean, don't just look at that. Look at they got businesses there now. They got commercial businesses. We're not talking about the old days when they had a feed mill
Yeah,
and you had a country store
right,
and you had, you had a few homes and barns and all that.
Yeah.
And so you didn't mind helping your neighbor.
right.
It was a joint effort because you probably didn't have the money to hire full-time guys.
Right,
So, I mean, it made sense.
yeah,
But now you're talking about, now you got Walmarts there and Targets and everything, and,
right. Well, Mill Creek's had over 50 years of irresponsible growth, in my opinion. And, I'm friends with, a lot of people that actually, were supervisors in Mill Creek.
yeah.
And, trust me, they realize, their plumbing or their, sewer systems are a complete disaster out there.
What's gonna hit?
They don't have, what they do is, they don't have a unified plumbing code out there.
What they did years ago,
Yeah, so, they got pipes this big, going into pipes this big, into pipes this big. So eventually, there's gonna be a problem.
Well, a friend of mine, they found out his friend had they found a problem in front.
Oh, really?
Just what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Inadequate
Oh, was it?
size.
Yeah.
They fixed it at the owner's expense.
Yeah, see, I mean, trust me, Mill Creek, everybody dogs the city out on Mill Creeks, but I'm telling you right now, they have problems out there.
Well, it's because they did things, well, to be fair, we did the same thing. Way back, we were guilty of some of those transgressions.
Yeah,
But when you're growing, you just, you go like this and that's it.
say what you want about Joyce, when she was the mayor, but we have, she took care of all that. She took care of the
Well,
infrastructure.
the infrastructure was, in some areas of the city when they went nuts,
Yeah,
there was, things were planned properly for a certain time period.
yeah,
And then when the growth happened, just like in Mill Creek, they kind of like blinked their eyes and
yeah, Mill Creek, I know, they didn't blink them, they put blinders on. And
it'll come back to haunt you.
it's haunting them now. I mean, when it rains, they might be half of Mill Creek might be underwater right
And
now.
a lot of our problems, like the ones on Florida,
Yeah,
I remember a few years ago, Mill Creek had to pay to, fix the pipes.
yeah, they got catch basins out there.
Because we were getting their water.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, people are like, oh, it's Mill Creek, we don't wanna join the city. You know, we're Mill Creek. Well, guess what, Mill Creek?
Well, I'll give you an example.
We don't wanna join you because guess what? We have a fire department.
Yeah.
Our infrastructure is way better than yours, and it's gonna cost you hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to update your entire
Well, think of this.
sewer system. So guess what? You keep up the good work, and what your school taxes, and wait till you get a fire department, your taxes are gonna be about the same as ours, and you're gonna have infrastructure problems. So guess what? Those are going up too. Keep up the good work.
Well, remember, when we built our system way back, when we owned it, it wasn't the water authority. Okay?
Yeah.
When the sewers and everything were put in, they were based that on the city that we were there at that time. Well, now you've got suburbs that are surrounding us that are dumping into the same system, that there was no way we could
Right.
accommodate for that.
Yeah.
And the fact was, if that was our people dumping in it, that'd be our fault.
Yeah.
We'd have to take appropriate action.
Right.
But it's a different geopolitical incorporation.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not Erie, it's Mill Creek, or it's Harbor Creek.
Right.
And all that water dump, where do you think it goes? Water flows downhill? Florida was getting it.
Here's what's going on in Mill Creek. All the extra water and all the sewage and all the water, where does it run to? It runs to the river, or the rivers and the creeks. And where do the creeks end up? Into the lake.
Yeah.
So then
All that material and,
you get the beach shut down for this reason, that reason, and which way does the wind is predominantly west. So all that stuff that blows in from Fairview, Mill Creek, what else is out there? Girard, all those areas where they don't have the infrastructure that we do, all their pollutants and all their extra sewage and all that extra water that the pipes can't handle goes into the rivers through the watershed. Or not rivers, but creeks and stuff
Yeah.
like that, into the lake. And then the predominantly west winds blows it this way. Did you see the pictures in the front page newspaper of the water levels at Presque Isle? We have a problem out there, guys. I've been noticed, I grew up down here on East Front. We used to swim at Chestnut Pool. I've been riding by the bayfront for many years now. And as a kid, we used to swim off this dock, right at the end of where Chestnut Pool was.
yes.
And the water, there's a boat dock, a small one that went out,
Yeah.
just a concrete out. It's right by the boathouse. But when I was a kid, the water was like this. From the top, you had this much room to pull your boat up. Now, it's like the water level's even, and it's been like 15 years that I'm watching this. I'm like, when's it gonna go down? It's not going down. When you go out to the peninsula, when you first go onto the peninsula, the water is like almost to the road where the marshy area is. And when you go up a little bit, where they had the marsh area where you go up on the little platform and you look out and you see, you have marsh, but it was dry.
Yeah.
Now it's all water. The bay, we have a problem out there. We have a problem. And I'll tell you, that's our number one tourist attraction. We have a serious water problem going on out
We'll have to
there.
get Eddie on there to talk about it.
You do need Eddie on there, because I'm telling you, I keep waiting for because we had that big snow
Yeah.
last year, but it wasn't that. It's been going on for 15, 20 years I've been watching the levels go. And you think, eventually, I don't know, I'm not a scientist, gravity is gonna kick in at some point. And I keep driving by Cass and it's just going up and up and up and up. And then I was shocked when I took a ride around the peninsula a couple weeks ago and saw how far the water, I mean, the picture in the newspaper on some of the trails, the water is literally coming to the trail. And there's always been a buffer zone of some sort between the trails and the bay. I don't even want to look at the other side because you can't really get close when you're driving
Yeah.
west. But when you come east, the rising water levels are I mean, and it's to refill those areas, to fortify that area to where the water damage isn't like starting to, where that, you know, because you have the sidewalks and then you have the roads. So eventually that water is going to start eroding underneath the road.
We better hope it doesn't get into the sewer plant.
Well, we have a water problem. I'm not a scientist, but we have a serious water, you know, global warming. You can talk about that. You got everybody arguing about dumb stuff, but here's what I know. I grew up as a kid right on that water. I looked at it for my whole life.
Never been that high.
It's never been this high. And it's not going down. I know it shifts. I know there's times where, you know, there's cycles. But by the time it cycles, the peninsula maybe is going underwater slowly and slow, you know.
Well, that would be an economic.
That would be an economic disaster. Because you know.
That and ecological.
Yeah, it's already there. We're already talking about ecological problems out there. I mean, the plant life, you know, the animals, you know, if there's nowhere for them, you know, all the animals get pushed in towards the middle. And then you have, you know, an ecological balance going on.
Well, I have noticed the roads even on the lakeside have been.
Yeah, see, it's hard to tell when you go on the lakeside because of the dunes, you know, because
But a couple of times they've closed some of those roads down.
Well, they were talking about taking out the break walls. And when you look, you know, even when they show it, you know, you know, the break walls, the sand, and then there's, you know, then it goes in, then sand, then it goes in.
Yeah.
To
I think
where
that'd be a bad idea, don't you?
they're saying they need to come out.
Why?
Because
They're causing it?
it's adding to erosion. Because it's funneling the water and it's picking up speed, you know what I mean? It's like, and then it's focusing on the area, and then, you know, just like if you slam let's say this is the phone, eventually everything's gonna go out.
Well, I hope they study it quick because.
There is a problem, Cass, as far as the bay goes, the lake and Presque Isle, at least from what I saw on the bay side. And it's people are starting to notice it.
Feel free to call in, you still got 5 minutes.
It'll be hundreds of millions of dollars to they paid what, $3 million just to restock one beach.
So what do you think of the new plan on North Park Road, John?
I think we need it. It's sad. I think it was handled improperly. I think what they should have did was release the plan first and then say, you know, we're gonna have to ask businesses to relocate, you know, we're gonna work with them, the city, instead of saying, you know.
There should be a way to accommodate them.
There should be. But I mean, I don't know where, I think they've got a lot of good publicity out of it too, where I think the community would, no matter where they'd move to, but you know, you hate to see that.
The thing you gotta be careful, I like the food court concept.
Yeah,
They had one in, Roanoke, Virginia.
yeah.
The city actually runs it.
Oh, do that?
They took what they called, it was an old auction house or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they took it and they made booths in it and rent them out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Somewhere they got a couple formal sit-down places, but most of them are like like you have at the mall. You know, you have a big central sitting area, and then you walk around and, you know.
Let me ask you this question, Cass. You were talking to me about those buildings over there. How does you saw the pictures of the inside of the building. What, as far as inspections go?
We didn't do our job.
Is that what it was?
I'm saying it. They wanna take me, you know.
I mean, I don't know. I know Andy knows
all
guys.
I know
I know they do a good job. I mean, as far as
All I know is what I saw on TV when Persinger asked, the first time, you know, he was gonna get building permits and found out there was none.
yeah.
And the media clearly showed that there had been work done up there. You know, work that looked far in excess of what is normal maintenance.
Right.
And for those buildings to get in that shape, you gotta ask yourself a question. Because that's what Persinger said was, the reason why, and you said it too, sort of, they can't stay there because it's that bad.
Yeah.
Well, then somebody didn't do their job.
And when those guys, I know, when they do a renovation project, they're not playing around.
Well,
They've got people coming in and out of there.
Well, if they're gonna put in what they say,
Yeah,
it's gonna have to be, up to code.
yeah,
You're gonna make a lot of,
yeah,
and I'm disappointed that somebody at this end
yeah.
allowed that to happen.
I don't know.
You know,
I don't know any. I don't
How
know
does it go bad like that, John?
Well, I mean, off the air we'll talk about it.
Where's BIU?
Off the air we'll talk about it. But
Yeah,
we
where's
don't-
anybody,
But I mean, I would say it on air, but it's pure speculation.
Yeah, and I know,
And I don't want to speculate.
they know my feeling about the whole, what I feel about code inspection.
Yeah.
I feel it's been lacking, that, we're not consistent. It's a shame that, like Mr. Persinger and that group, who are, good, we know some of the people involved
Right.
that are now coming forward, want to do it the right way.
Yeah.
That means it wasn't done the right way before.
When we go off the air, I'm just gonna say, like I've said 100 times, we need people in our downtown area with disposable income.
Yes,
Now, you had these, market rate houses over by Griswold Park, bad idea,
Yeah.
terrible.
I think this is a better idea.
I think you're on a park,
Well,
okay?
you know that, you're near the Warner, you're near, restaurants.
Yes, and you're not overlooking a fast food joint. So,
But he's gonna be opening nice restaurants.
yeah,
And you know what, you're not gonna eat there every night, but here's what I say, John, the only thing I feel bad about is that when you work around here, City Hall and Gannon and all that, you got a limited time frame.
yeah,
Walking up towards juniors is a little bit,
yeah.
so I mean, I would hope they try to keep them down
We,
in this walking area, I call it.
you have to strike a balance between low income, middle income, and upper income in the city within our downtown district. And right now, properties that were the market rate, like the Boston store, they resorted to Section 8 housing.
Yeah.
Now, when you open up any business, they're gonna open up their demographic study and see the 16501 zip code
Yeah.
and our medium income of downtown people,
You're not-
and we're just gonna get more family dollars.
I mean, if you look at, and I'll say it publicly, for Tandoori Kitchen, or the, Cow Thai, the Elmita, I think I'm gonna say it wrong. That
Yeah.
the woman runs that nice place, Dave's Diner.
Yeah.
They looked at, they're looking at, in the daytime, they got nice business.
Right,
They got City Hall, the
Right.
county, they got Gannon, they got, the banks, they got Erie Insurance.
right,
I think what they're trying to do now, John,
Yeah.
is they're giving them a reason to stay open all night now.
right,
By saying, okay, you know what, we're gonna put housing down here,
right,
and if we provide the type of restaurants and businesses
right,
that people like, maybe they'll be able to stay open all night.
yeah,
Like a lot of times, John, night time's a tough time.
right. Dominic's isn't even open all night anymore.
What's that tell you?
They close, and then they don't even open up that early in the morning anymore.
But I mean, a lot of these places used to close at, after lunch.
Dave's Diner, great place. I love that place.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a fantastic
and there you go, you got
restaurant.
Dave's Diner, okay, but if you want something a little different,
Yeah,
you got an Indian restaurant,
Yeah.
you got a.
it was
Thai restaurant.
unfortunate how that all went down. It should have
You
been
got-
handled a little bit, they put the horse before the cart. In that situation, they should have put the cart and then say, because of construction,
Yeah.
because of health, and, these restaurants, they can't afford to have people, there's gonna be so many vehicles and in and out, and trucks and particles and dust and blah, blah,
And
blah.
John, I admire all those people that, from one end to the other of that block, that transformed that area.
And then you remember last week, the Catfish Kitchen, that's a whole nother story.
That was a bad, I mean,
Yeah, that was awful.
the food wasn't bad.
Yeah, well, that's because, they were drugging it. With that, we gotta go off the air.
But if we start now going around the corner and that whole
Yeah.
block gets developed,
Yeah,
you got Starbucks,
but
you got.
that's not part of the EDDC.
No, but I mean, when you look at what they wanna do, and you
Yeah.
combine that with the Starbucks that exists there,
Yeah,
and some of the other changes that's gonna happen
Yeah.
positively,
yeah.
I mean, you got a nice little district
That's what we need.
That people go down and say, you know what, I want to eat?
You're gonna have pushback, and you're gonna hear the word gentrification a lot. Now, you can only have gentrification. People been trying to sell their properties on the Lower West Side, Lower East Side for a long time. Nobody's buying them. So is it really gentrification where you're pushing people out? They've been trying to sell them for years. People could have bought them that lived there.
Hey, I want a nice ride, because when I work downtown, I'm not anti-McDonald's, but with my diet, my medical needs, at my age, I shouldn't be eating McDonald's that much.
I shouldn't either.
I love it when I can go down to a nice restaurant,
Yeah.
some of the ones that, populated North Park Road,
Right.
and have what I call something different that's healthy,
Yeah. Right.
with different formats,
Well, with that, Kaz, it's getting late, and I think we gotta go.
Yep, and I think we'll be here next week, hopefully.
Yeah. Next Tuesday's election day, so
Hey, well, you better tell everybody, what do they need to do?
they need to go vote
Yep,
for sure. Could be low turnout, so
that's a shame.
yeah. All right, hit the music.
You have been watching Taxpayers Hotline, recorded live from the fabulous city of Erie, Pennsylvania.